The median age in Ontario is more than 40 years old, which is not all that young. And in rural parts of the province, the number tends to be higher, often much higher. At the just completed 2023 Rural Ontario Municipal Association Conference, officials shared strategies for making communities work for residents as they age and look for more support in their senior years. And we're joined now by two such officials. Noelle Reeve is a planner with Tay Valley Township, that's in Eastern Ontario, and Jane Sinclair, General Manager of Health and Emergency Services at the County of Simcoe in the Barrie area of the province. And it's good to have you two here. You both came a long way to be with us today. And it was hell, I imagine, right? How long did it take you to get here?
Took me a couple hours to get here.
2 hours to get here, and it should take one.
Probably 1.5.
One and a half?
A little bit longer.
Okay.
Pleased to be
get here.
I got here by train and taxi.
Train and taxi, not too bad.
Yeah.
Well, we're glad you're finally in those chairs. Tay Valley Township. I think it's, okay, if memory serves, if you draw a line between Kingston and Ottawa, it's sort of right in the middle. Is that about right?
Yes, it is.
Okay, how big an area is it?
So it's 555 square kilometers, but what that means, if people are trying to figure that out, is it's about the size of the city of Toronto, so not the Greater Toronto Area, but the city
Just
of
the 416.
Toronto. Yep.
Okay.
But we only have 6,000 people, so that's kind of like the population of Centre Island.
Okay, so it's the size of the 416, but instead of 2.8 million people, it's
6,000.
6,000 people. Okay, that's different. And how about yours?
So we're a large population, close to 500,000, but it's a very large geography. It's about an hour and a half north of Toronto, and we have 16 member municipalities plus 2 urban centres, the city of Barrie and the city of Orillia. So lots of population spread across a huge geography. I think we're the second largest county by landmass in the province of Ontario.
Behind what? I don't know either.
I think Renfrew.
Oh, is that right? Okay,
Yes,
in Eastern
yes.
Ontario. Okay, very good. Any idea what percentage of your population are seniors?
Yes, so we have a very skewed percentage of that population. So 55% of our residents are 55 years and older, and the average for the province is 33%. So you can tell we are really skewed towards having far more seniors than the rest of the province.
You are a little disproportionately older than the rest of the province.
Yes.
Okay. Is that good? Is that bad? Is that, what is that?
It's good in the sense that we have a lot of residents with wide ranges of experiences, so they can share their experiences with us. It's not so good when you think about a vulnerable population. And, you know, some seniors are fine on their own, but some seniors, just like the rest of the age groups, need more help. So it can be a problem for us to make sure our residents are able to stay where they want to stay in our community.
Gotcha. How about Simcoe County? Any idea what percentage is senior?
Absolutely. We're 19.9% 65 plus, so we're above the provincial and the national average. And again, a great history, great culture, but lots of challenges for our senior population because much of the communities are small, rural, and really spread apart across the entire region. So present some challenges for our aging population.
Why do seniors like to live there in disproportionate numbers if there are so many challenges with regards to access to services and appropriate housing and all of that?
I think that's part of our great, a very rich history in the county of Simcoe. We have a lot of farmland, a lot of farmers, and small municipalities that have been here for, you know, over 100 to 150, 200 years. And so they're very proud of that heritage and their culture, and proud to live where they are. And so we're working really hard to ensure that they have all the services and amenities so they can continue to live in their homes within the county.
So you have multiple generations of people who came maybe a century and a half ago and have just stayed.
Very much so.
Huh. How about in your experience?
It's pretty much the same. We have a lot of farmland, a lot of rural areas, but we do have, fortunately, amongst some of our seniors, researchers who work with the Rural Ontario Institute, and they've looked at why young people leave. So it's kind of the opposite side of the question. And I thought it would be the lack of employment opportunities, but really it's the lack of the housing that young people want. So not enough apartments, condos, small houses, and also not enough amenities that they want. So not enough opportunities to go out to a bar or to go dancing, to a club, or even just, you know, go to a maker space and make something together. So it's interesting when you talk about why you have a lot of seniors, you also have to look at, well, why is your youth leaving?
Do you, okay, this is going to sound like a really dumb question. Do you have a movie theater in your community?
No.
Do you have a nightclub or something like that in your community?
No.
So, okay, these are things young people like to do, and
Yes.
there you go.
Yeah.
Any chance of either of those things happening?
Well, we did have a drive-in open nearby,
Oh, that's
which was
cool.
exciting. Yeah. The nightclub, I know some of the young people would love to do it, but they need, I guess, venture capital. They don't have the money to do it.
Right. Okay, your township's been working on something called an age-friendly community plan for several years now. What does that look like?
So the World Health Organization actually identified what an age-friendly community was a while ago. And they said that it's a community that supports its older people, so both physically and also socially. And then the province came along with a program, Age-Friendly Communities, and defined it in a different number of areas. So housing, transportation, healthcare, outdoor recreation. And so we have a sort of a template from the province, a guide, so that you can look at your community and say, how are we doing with our seniors? And we can do a survey and ask them, do you have the supports you need to stay in this community, or are you thinking of moving to a more urban area? And we don't want them to move to the urban area.
Right.
So we then plan for what they say the gaps are.
So where are you in the plans right now?
So we completed an age-friendly plan a couple of years ago, and we are just starting to implement it. So we're just starting to focus on 3 areas of that plan:
And they are?
co-housing, communication, and seniors inclusion.
That last one's big, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
It really is.
They got to feel like they're part of something,
Absolutely.
connected to something.
Yeah. One of the things that turned up in the survey was that older men were really suffering from mental health, lack of mental health. So, just feeling incredibly isolated, and I guess not feeling comfortable reaching out to let people know that. So that was, one of the social supports that the survey turned up.
Jane, how about you? You got something similar going on where you are?
Very similar. We modeled after the World Health Organization. They define it as 8 domains, so housing, transportation. And we did a huge engagement study. In 2017, we were very fortunate to receive some seed funding, a grant through the province of Ontario. We surveyed over 3,000 seniors across the region, plus a number of other types of one-to-one and group interviews. And we identified the top priorities for our seniors, our aging population. And from that, we put together a whole strategy. And the strategy currently is from 2018 to this year, 2023. It contains about 135 specific action items. And this year, we're getting ready to do a refresh to go out to our seniors and say, how do we do? The activities that we put in place, some of the strategies, are they working? Are they helping? So we're excited about that next step in our process.
If you've got a to-do list with 135 things on it, how many check marks are on that list right now?
Surprisingly, this is a very much a team focus. So at the County of Simcoe, it's a large corporation. We have many departments, and so it's not all myself and a few folks. There are many individuals working on this, and we've achieved some amazing action items. One I might just mention quickly, housing. It's one of the key areas, and the County of Simcoe started a housing grant for aging population, $500,000 annually. Seniors across the region can apply for modifications to their home, so to make it more easy to live there. Grab bars, ramps, different types of features so they can age in place literally. And we've provided grants to over 200 seniors across the region to
200
date.
homes or people?
Individuals.
Individuals.
Yes.
Okay. Is that, I don't know, is that much uptake or not much uptake or what?
It's great uptake. Actually, when we first started the program a few years ago, it was getting the word out, reaching the seniors so they know about this grant and so they can look at how we can help them to stay in their homes. And so every year we get more and more individuals that are applying for the grant, and we've seen some huge success stories for our aging population.
Because I presume they're probably, well, I don't know, I should ask. Are there many long-term care homes or alternative living arrangements in your county? Because I imagine if you've been living in a big home most of your life, and then suddenly you find yourself 75 years old and maybe, not as mobile as you used to be. Your alternatives are presumably not as great as they would be if you were in the city.
There's 26 actually long-term care homes in our catchment area. But I have to tell you, so that is one option, but that's not the only option. And at the county, we've developed, we call them campus of care for seniors. And so there's a long-term care home. Our largest, Georgian Village in Penetanguishene, has 5 different types of housing. It has retirement living, it has affordable housing for seniors, it has life lease, apartment, market rentals, and townhomes. So individuals with various needs in our communities have different options. It's co-located in one spot, one-stop shopping, so to speak, so they can live independently, but they have access to different fitness amenities, different service providers, et cetera, on this campus continuum. And we're just embarking in creating another, even larger continuum in the southern part of the county of Simcoe. So some exciting options for our aging population.
Because presumably the idea is, let's keep them here as opposed to have them leave the county and go somewhere else.
Absolutely.
Got it. Okay. You want to take us through some pictures? You've given us some pictures here. We got a bunch here. Sheldon, let's take this look, because there are a bunch of different types of homes that you are offering in Tay Valley Township as well. Okay, let's bring the first one up here. And this has got, now, we got some people who listen to this program on a podcast and they won't see the picture. So I'm just going to describe what looks like sort of a series of two-story homes, but there's some windows that have got orange coloring around them, and that refers to what?
So the province allows for homeowners to have what's called an accessory unit. So what you're looking at is, with the orange, there's an accessory unit you could put in your basement. You could put an accessory unit above a garage attached to your home. You could put the accessory unit simply attached to your home. And what's not shown in this picture is you could even have a standalone accessory unit, what people used to refer to as granny flats. Sometimes people call them coach houses now. So that's what you can do now under the province. What resulted from our survey was that our residents wanted to do co-housing. And co-housing looks like other buildings, but it's an intentionality of living together and taking care of each other.
Okay, I think we got a shot of that too.
Okay.
You want to do, Sheldon, you want to bring this up? Okay, I think that's it there. Now again, for people who are listening can't see, we've got basically 5 homes in a row. They look like, what are they, bungalows or two-story? I can't tell.
Oh, they're little tiny, almost cottages.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they're all very cute Art Deco, different colors. And this is a co-housing situation because why?
So this is one model where people essentially in these little cottages would have their bedroom and a bathroom and a small living area. But the intention is that they also share a larger communal kitchen and a communal living space, so that every morning they see each other. If someone doesn't show up for breakfast, maybe they slept in, but if they don't show up for lunch, someone's going to go and check on them.
Okay.
And that's what makes the co-housing way of life, that people are committed to checking on each other.
Gotcha.
And there's lots of ways to do it, under condominium law, under co-op law, under joint tenants, under shared ownership. And the township doesn't really care how you finance it. We just care about allowing those 6 units on the property, which we don't right now.
Sheldon, can I see that shot one more time? It looks like, okay, everybody's got their own space, but then it looks like everybody sort of shares a big backyard. Is that right as well? Everybody's sort of responsible for pitching in and keeping it landscaped and beautiful and people, and they do that.
Oh, yes, and they want to do it. I mean, this type of housing exists in British Columbia. It exists widely in Europe. But in rural Ontario, there's a number of challenges to it.
Such as?
Mostly the fact that we are on septic systems. So people in the city might look at that and think, well, what is the challenge? You just have your water pipes, your sewer pipes. You can have that amount of density, no problem. But in the rural area, because we have been zoned for one house, one lot. And so to change that zoning is really an enormous shift. We have no multifamily zoning, no lots in our township that are zoned to allow you to have a triplex, 4, 5, 6.
But presumably that's just a political decision that your local council has to make, no?
Well, it's a political decision, but it was also something that the province required for good reason, which was called a municipal responsibility agreement. So to have that level of density, you need to have a larger septic system, and that's called a communal septic system. And as soon as you require a communal septic system, the Ministry of Environment says to the town, okay, you will have to take that over if it ever fails. So you need to set aside money in case it fails. And no municipalities wanted to do that.
Got it. Okay, before we go to the last picture,
Yeah.
hold off on that one, Sheldon, because I want to bring Jane back in here. We've seen some alternative living arrangements here in Tay Valley Township. You got something like this in the county of Simcoe as well?
Very similar, actually, with the new development that I mentioned, Simcoe Village will be the campus name. We're developing a number of different types of housing, as I mentioned, but our new adventure is co-housing, very similar to what's been described, although it'll be one large kind of residential home that has 8 or 9 different bedrooms. They have their own washrooms, but they share living room, kitchen space, etc.
You would have called this a rooming house back in the day.
Well-
You don't, but no one likes that term anymore, right?
I call it the Golden Girls, Golden Guys model,
Okay.
and we're pretty excited because they'll develop a friendship, a safety mechanism to watch out for one another, and then have access to other services and amenities on this campus continuum. So we think it's a really innovative and exciting new option for our seniors.
And if there are 8 individual bedrooms in this larger house,
Yes.
along with the communal space of kitchen, living room, etc., does everybody own 1/8 of the property? Is that how it works?
Well, there's a couple of different models. In our model, we'll take ownership of the actual facility.
You, the county?
The county,
Okay.
and they'll rent space. But that is an option as well. We know there is co-housing where a group of individuals will purchase the facility and then they'll each have ownership to the facility. We're going to actually take on the ownership piece and rent it to these
Got it.
individuals.
Because you can imagine it'd be tricky to sell 1/8 of a house, right?
Absolutely.
But if the county owns it, you get around that problem.
That's
okay.
correct.
Let's do, there we go. Okay, Noelle, this is, have I got this right? This is the cluster lot co-housing?
Yes.
Now
Yeah.
this is, again, this looks more like one continuous sort of townhomes that are all side by side by side by side, no space in between,
Right.
2 stories, nice colors again, and the advantage of this is what?
So again, within those units, you will have the shared kitchen, the shared living room, and so people can check on each other. People can not feel isolated. Social isolation is such a major concern in rural areas, especially when you have the huge geography. We don't have transit for people to be able to connect that way. So this really addresses the issue of social isolation. And again, you might think, well, that just looks like something you might see in Toronto, but it's this whole septic piece and getting the province to understand that these municipal responsibility agreements don't necessarily have to go on the back of the developer. Because if you ask a developer, are you going to build this? Yes. Okay, are you going to set aside money to replace that septic? Well, I just put in the septic. Why do I have to set aside money to replace it? So it becomes a kind of chicken and egg thing. And we're really lucky in that the county next door to us, Frontenac County, has been working with the province for about 5 years to try to make these communal systems easy and possible. And they may even come up with a public utility idea. So again, the developer wouldn't be on the hook. The municipality would use its reserves so that it would know if it needed to replace that septic 25 years down the road. It wouldn't come as a shock where you have people having to leave their homes, as you might have heard about in some, mobile home parks where the septic and the water system failed.
Now, do you have these oddities or anomalies as well, whereby you've got sort of rules on the books that prohibit slightly more dense opportunities for housing?
There are considerations in the County of Simcoe as well. Because we're building multi-residential, large campus continuums, we're not having those same challenges as the developer. We're really the developer ourselves. So we're able to work with our local municipalities to ensure that we meet the expectations from a planning perspective and ensure that in our case, we have septic sewage and water. So we're able to, work very closely with the municipality. So it's not presenting as the same challenge.
Because one of the things that I know a lot of people in the capital city here refer to is that, we've got a subway line that goes east-west across the middle of the city, the Bloor Line, Line 2. And there are huge chunks of the Bloor Line where there are bylaws in place that have been there for 80 years that only permit bungalows. And, this is right, you can be living 50 feet from a subway station and all you can build is a bungalow. And of course, nowadays, you want to presumably put up maybe a 3-story, 4-story,
absolutely.
6-story, something like that. Do you have these kind of crazy, out-of-date bylaws that prohibit?
There are different types of bylaws, but I will tell you, one of the exciting things that came out of our whole age-friendly study is the County of Simcoe renewed or developed their master plan, updated their master plan, and they actually built in an age-friendly component with symbols and guidelines for all of our area, our member municipalities. So they really tried to be proactive in the planning process, look at some of those older, dated guidelines, and really put an age-friendly spin on it to promote housing that's more suitable for our seniors.
Noelle, in our last 30 seconds, you want the province's help or you want them to get out of the way?
We want the province's help.
What do you want?
To address this municipal responsibility agreement requirement and the engineering requirements that private developers actually don't have to go through. Seems a bit ironic that a township does, but a private developer doesn't.
It does.
Yeah.
Seem ironic. There we go. I want to thank both of you for coming such long distances and fighting traffic and every other thing. Did the train leave on time?
It left on time, didn't arrive on time.
Well, such is life, such is life. Noelle Reeve, Jane Sinclair, thanks so much for joining us from Tay Valley Township and Simcoe County, or the County of Simcoe as they prefer. Great to have you here on TVO tonight.
You're welcome.
Thank
Glad
you.
to be here.
The Agenda with Steve Paikin is made possible through generous philanthropic contributions from viewers like you. Thank you for supporting TVO's journalism.